Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of SpartBoi.
Hey guys, this is the legendary SpartBoi here coming at you with another video, and another video I think it's been like 2 years, I think. Yeah, it's been a while. Sorry, I did actually quit YouTube, but an issue with corporate, abuse of power and just absolute, a Chinese startup company come into the U.S. and trying to insert Chinese culture into the workplace, and a manager that was a roach that didn't care about the stress he was putting his people under. That's what pushed me to come back. So I'm back. We're gonna be talking about this two-part video type of thing. And I'm just going to be doing a conversation. It's been a while since I've done quote unquote public talking with you guys, so do forgive me if I trail off. It's there's a reason why I'm doing a two-part video, because it would just be this long rant, and I'd like to at least make it a little more organized. So this is just going to be based on focusing on corporate and the stuff I experienced with them, and then the second video tomorrow is going to be my experience with the manager and the actual store per se. And I'll be mentioning some store stuff, but I won't be mentioning the manager. The manager, he deserves his own video. Let's just say he's that bad. So first off, we're gonna go ahead and start from the beginning. So I had been looking for work for literally about six months. 900 give or take applications. Yes, I know it's crazy. Amen, hallelujah. California is awesome. What can I say? But yeah, so my friend, which I will not name my friend just because he's still working there and I don't want him to get in trouble. Just because knowing this company, if they find out someone also doesn't like, because I'm trying to keep him, having a job, even though I was screwed out of my job, I want to make sure that he doesn't lose his job. Because I'm bringing up some cold hard facts about the company, and this company has a really bad track record, at least with me and our assistant manager, who also was fired, who was actually straight up fired. I was forced to resign, but I don't want him to receive the same treatment as I had, even though right now, which I'll cover maybe in a third video if he wants me to, or if I feel it's necessary, I will bring up the issue, and he did say it's okay to mention, which I will mention later on in this video because it connects with corporate. Um, but yeah, so I was looking for a job, 6 months, 9 applications, aim in California. And my friend let me know about a virtual reality place that was opening up. So I was like, of course, I was like, whoa, this could be like an actual job, because I was looking for like a full-time job this time. I was trying to get a full-time job, and I was like, all right, sure, I'll go to the interview. I ended up getting the interview. And by the way, okay, I gotta say, this interview process, for the amount of money, that we were getting, and the amount of stress, like I've like that should have been a first indicator to me, because the interview was a two-part interview, and it was brutal in terms of how long it was. Because I was asked, like, hey, like, how do you do this? But then I was asked like 3, 4 follow-up questions of that, which, I mean, I get that it can be normal, but it was the way that it was asked. It's kind of like, oh, well, with this, I was like, okay, this is probably, just like really, because, this VR place has a lot of VIP. It's called SandBox VR. It has a lot of VIP, standing per se, quote unquote. A lot of VIP donations. I know a lot of celebrities specifically are donors to this, and they really like the technology, which, looking back on it, I'm gonna have to be brutally honest. Oculus has come out with a camera that does very similar things, specifically from a person point of view, quote unquote, um, where it actually has cameras. With this system, you actually have to put on trackers, these trackers that have balls on them. And then there's also motion cameras in the actual rooms, which is pretty cool to be honest. But I'll follow up on the issue with the rooms. It's just a sec, in a little bit. But yeah, so you have to put them on your wrists and your feet, and that's what helps track. And there's also a tracker on your actual Oculus. I believe the company still uses Gen 2. It's been a while since I've worked there, but knowing the company speed and my friends still working there, I haven't heard anything about them upgrading to the newest Oculus, which would actually help solve their issue if they would, get up their feet and stop making. Which I'll explain right now, just because I'm moving on to the point. So the one of the most frustrating issues working at this company, in just terms of design and working with the games, is um and I would take legal action against them, but unfortunately I don't have enough money for a lawyer. Rest in peace. Amen. Hallelujah. But unfortunately, yeah. So we were hired as first off, we were hired as like customer service. We needed to know a little bit of troubleshooting, or we would be taught that within a given amount of time. Um, so I was like, okay, sure, let's go into this, let's learn this, let's get on this. I need to do this right so I can keep my job. I can't lose this job. Well, we all know how that turned out. But yeah, so we went into it. First off, red flag. They were way behind building schedule, and I get this isn't the fault per se of corporate, but corporate should have gotten their act together and made sure that the building team that they used building the store was high quality the first time. First flag over a Chinese company, by the way, which this is Hong Kong-based Chinese company. So they were delayed, I think a couple months, like 2, 3 months off that. Could be wrong, could be 1 to 2, but it was definitely not normal. And they even messed up. They still messed up. The second crew that they brought in still messed up the design, which I was like, well, can't do anything about that now, can we? But yeah, so we were delayed. We were actually called in during construction, which is low key and kind of high key, not technically legal, but they were like, okay, well, we got to expedite this, so we're going to get you guys in here. So, red flag number two. Yeah, we were actually called in to work. We actually had to help their deployment team actually set up a lot of the stuff, which, to be honest, specifically because they were still under construction, we shouldn't have been there because safety hazards. Which the people that were there made a good point about that because my dad works in a lot of like high danger zone type areas where if you're not a worker there, if you don't got safety clearance, quote unquote, you shouldn't be there. So. And someone, if someone wants to comment, I know it's been a while. My channel is low key kind of a ghost town, but I believe in you guys. So if someone who randomly does construction walks in, you can correct me on that. I'm not sure what the protocol for that is, but I do know for a fact because they actually told us like, yeah, you guys shouldn't really be here. So that's a red flag. Another red flag is I actually finished getting done dealing with reparations with this company, specifically for 10 minutes. So we actually, and my friend can attest to this, my assistant manager, which I'm still in contact with, we're really good friends. Um, like, we literally were not giving correct 10-minute breaks during the first 3 months plus. Easy. Like, it was retarded. Like, it was honestly retarded. Like, we were not giving correct 10-minute breaks the first 3 months because the workflow sucked. And we will talk about the managerial stupidity tomorrow. Because that stuff was stupid. I don't care what anyone says about, oh, well, he has a lot of stress on his plate. I'm like, yo, we'll get into that tomorrow because it's a whole nother video's worth of cringe and stupidity. All right, so anyways, back to carpet stupidity first. But yeah, so we were shoved in to that situation, the previous situation which I was talking about. 10 minutes, we weren't getting 10 minutes, and then when we finally opened, we all weren't even fully trained. we couldn't even train with doing the equipment, specifically putting on the backpacks, looking at the computer, making sure everything was good. Which, by the way, digging into my other point, if my friend does choose to go through with suing this company, I'm gonna follow through with him. I'm gonna, he said, yeah, look, you can jump in. I want to talk to the, is the lawyer, the attorney. I forgot which one it is. That is that is, because one of the big issues that I had around the middle of my work experience there, which everyone can attest to, that's worked there previously, the old guard and even sometimes the new guard, is look, the hiring, like when we were hired, like I said you earlier, like customer service and a little bit of troubleshooting. All right, so the job basically turned into having to do about 70% IT level work, which was testing games, calibrating cameras in the morning, and we'll get into the stupidity of the manager's laziness and absolute overuse, like over standardizing part-time workers, including myself. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not lazy. I don't mind doing work, but when you try to rush setting up technology, doing it the right way, especially since I do have a learning disability, and I told him before I was hired, and he was a douche about it, which we'll go into deeper, because tomorrow's going to be more based on my experience with the store manager, so basically that. But yeah, so yeah, we were doing. Which did I live off? I'm so sorry, guys. It's been a while. But yeah, so we were doing the calibrating. Yeah, calibrating was the last one. Yeah, we're calibrating, making sure everything was right. We also had to look for, like, calibrate the cameras, which we will go into detail now because I am just appalled that they actually brought this to America. So, Chinese company, right? They actually were stupid enough to bring low quality made in China cameras, motion capture cameras, to the store in America. These cameras suck. And to my knowledge, they're still being used, which they should absolutely not. They should have been pulled back. They should have gotten high quality Japan made cameras or something that was better quality. Because I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's stupid that they're still using this stuff. If you nudge the stand, like the rack, pretty much like the surrounding, kind of like movie light, but they have motion camera cameras on them instead. If you touch that rack even a little bit of vibration, they will decalibrate, and then you will have to start from scratch, and you'll have to redo it. And this would happen when I was working there, and to my knowledge, it still can happen, even though it doesn't happen as often per se. It still happens. Shouldn't happen at all. But if you nudge them, they will go out of sync. That's how cheap the company was. They did not want to spend money to actually invest in high quality motion capture cameras. We are actually told, me and the assistant manager, one of the days we were talking about it, about why they were using such cheap cameras. And I was like, oh, wait, where are these? What company are these cameras from? And the assistant manager was like, "Well, Matthew, they're Chinese. They're from China. They brought them over." And I was like, "What? Why are we using cheap Chinese cameras in America when they literally could have bought high quality cameras here?" Oh, they were trying to say, I would say I'm surprised that a Chinese company was like really trying to cut edges, but I'm not, because it's a Chinese company, and I should have expected less, like much less. Uh, This company, by the way, was founded in 2016. It technically opened, I believe, in 2017. It's 2020, and they're still calling themselves a pop-up slash startup company. SandBox, you guys have been open for 3 years. You guys have gotten millions of dollars worth of donations from celebrities, from Hollywood, from America. not China, which is rather ironic, from America. And you guys are still cutting corners in the most ridiculous ways, paying your people correctly. You guys are a tech company. You guys, the fact that they're still calling themselves a startup is, it's kind of like a Steam game, that it's been out for 3 years, but they're like, oh, we're still working on it. It's like, we haven't seen much improvement. They finally fixed the audio issue, by the way, that I was experiencing just recently. And they were using one of the oldest, talking software in a command prompt. They were using an audio software in a command prompt. When you're, and we have props that we would use, that you use in the game, and they're and the guests are clicking a mile a minute. Like the input is K, I believe. You have to click it a mile a minute. If for some reason something goes wrong with the Bluetooth connection, it can glitch out the system. And then you have to go, which is another issue. Oh my god, we're just getting started here. Okay, so the props are actually mobile device props. You can buy them for mobile device or for computer, right? But the problem is they have all these buttons where you hold your hands, right? And they're all still able to be clicked. They're not locked out of the system. Like, it's not like they were killed, like the developers didn't, like these Chinese developers didn't kill those buttons. No, they're still alive. You can touch them and they actually feed back to the computer. So if the customers touch these buttons other than the trigger, it will ruin their experience. If the key gets debinded, which is stupid because it should not. They should have made it that, like, in the first place, they should have gotten props that only had two buttons, one for the power and one for the trigger, and have those buttons away from where people hold them so that your employees don't have to be stressed out looking at these people 50 miles a minute to make sure they don't press a button that's not even part of the experience. And according to my friend who still works there, they still have not gotten the props that were promised. The props that's in the marketing material, that's actually what we're supposed to have. But no, they are still using these cheap, made in China props. And they're expecting, like, and the management, which we will get into tomorrow, because the management is absolute garbage. I am sorry to say, but I have never seen management get so frustrated at employees for having to deal with such garbage technological props that shouldn't even be used for commercial use. Like, this company is so cheap that they couldn't come down to the sitting block, to the thinking block, whatever block you want to call it, and be like, hey, we got like another, which by the way, they've like, I think a couple months into it, they got another 15 million. And I will literally link the I'll give you guys the link to the I might post a picture at some point in the video here, this podcast, where I actually asked them, hey, are we getting a raise? And you know what the official SandBox VR Instagram said? You guys are getting a raise in VR. And I am like, and I actually told our assistant manager about it, and the assistant manager in training, and I was like, what do you guys think about this? Isn't this like, not like, this shouldn't be an answer that a company gives, even if it wasn't an employee? And they're like, but the assistant manager was, I know that guy, and that was wrong. So, mic drop. Can we get a mic drop moment here? I can't do a mic drop effect. I'm sorry, guys. What else? What else? Oh, let's see here. What else would you... Okay, so when I was working there and we were in the rooms, we actually had to stand for the majority of our shift, unless we were able to sit on the little storage containers. And like we told corporate this through our manager, and we told our manager in itself, can we get stools to sit on or something? And they were like, management was like, well, corporate doesn't want you to sit, and there's not much I can do about it. I'm telling you, the manager tomorrow, like I might just record it today, because I really want to get this out, because people need to know that even though this company prides itself on being a VIP level, it isn't. It isn't. Just to give you a great example, on Indeed.com, and you guys can look this up. If you look for SandBox VR in Woodland Hills, you will be shocked to believe that these guys are like the manager in corporate are looking to hire someone to do the amount of work I was doing, which is a lot of work. It's pretty stressful. Like you gotta know how to do check front. Like you'll be shoved into rooms. Rotation is terrible. We were actually promised, like, hey, halfway through your shift, if you're in a room, you'll be pulled out. Okay, I know I said I wasn't going to talk to the manager, but this kind of ties into to the workflow. Uh, I would be stuck in the dang experience room for 90% of my shift. And I was the one, not the manager, who actually said in our training, hey, I'll go ahead and switch you guys out halfway through your shift. Don't worry. You won't get stressed. I'll make sure you guys are all right. Nah, that never happened. I had to go to the assistant manager and say, hey, can I go to the floor, because I've been in the room all day. I've had to deal with a lot of tech issues. I'd love to get outside and have some, human interaction that wasn't strained because of tech. So, yeah, good stuff. But like I say, it's frustrating when you're at a job, you're there to work, and I get it, it's going to be a little bit stressful, but it shouldn't be every single day. You got to be like, you as the individual have to be like, oh shoot, I gotta go ask my manager, if like I gotta go ask my assistant manager to go ahead and if I can switch to the outdoor after my break, after my lunch break, because my manager doesn't do it on his own when he's there, because he's an idiot. But now I'm just a worker. I don't know nothing. I've only been working for 6 years. What can I say? I'm dumb. So I just don't know what to say about this company. Like when I was talking to HR, and this is very recent, and I know I also mentioned this at the start and throughout, but when I was going through the process to get reparations, I had to do the reaching out. I had to request my reparation. Okay, like great example, Target. Even though I dislike the fact that they work you to death, like they work you as a workhorse, they at least know, like, hey, we gotta give everyone their breaks, we gotta give it to them on time, they gotta take their breaks. This company is like, you gotta work, you gotta work hard. We gotta get those sales, guys. We gotta get the promotions out. We gotta do this. And we were actually asked by management, not the assistant manager, thank goodness, but by the manager, to go out in the mall, in the Topanga Mall, and ask people if they wanted to check it out, if they wanted to get an experience booked, which he knew this, but he definitely didn't care, because he would send us out and be like, "Hey, you guys got to get bookings." So we would go out. We couldn't get bookings. We were actually told by security, like, "Hey, you guys can do this. Yeah, you guys can get fined." And I was like, "Well, well, darn it, dude. I told him he doesn't want to listen. He doesn't want to listen to the locals who've I've been living here my whole life. my last job was in the mall. You're not allowed to be walking around soliciting, and he's clueless about it. When we would come back and we didn't have any sales, he was like, "Whoa, why couldn't you guys get any sales? I got a sale like 10 minutes ago." I was like, was it in my job description to be a telemarketing style sales? No, I was here to be either like a brand ambassador or a guest experience guide, and that never happened. Like the flow never, like, they could have made it so that the rules in the job, and I know this from experience, from organizing League of Legends team for semi-pro gaming, in terms of organization wise, you don't make it so that your people have to carry 3-4 different hats. You make it so that it's divided equally. So you have someone be a host. You hire someone for a host work. You hire someone for guest experience guide host. You hire someone for floor. We started off with a floor position, but nah, they got rid of that real fast. They couldn't have that. Nah, they actually had the host. The host be the host and also be pretty much the floor person. We didn't have anyone going in between helping, which we had at the start, which was a good idea, but our manager and all his sage wisdom got rid of that because it wasn't good for the workflow. Now, everyone knew that because he got rid of that, because the more roles were put into less people, that it was more stressful for those people, and you got burnt out a lot faster. But corporate evidently didn't care either, because they didn't step in whatsoever to help us, to give us backing. Now, they support the corporate in this company. If you are not a lead, like a high lead, or even leads really don't get listened to. If you're not like a manager, and even this, like, assistant managers don't really get listened to. It's the managers that they listen to, which is stupid. Both are equally needed in a job sense and in a corporate sense, because they work together. They help each other's strengths. They help reinforce each other's strengths. They help each other's weaknesses. You can't have one without the other. It's like yin and yang. But nah, this company doesn't care about feedback, which was what got the assistant manager fired, even though the company's like, oh, well, he was abusing. Look, again, sorry to cut this out of the other video, which I'll honestly add because it's just frustrating. But I would be there, like, I would be at work ready to go an hour, like 30 minutes to an hour before work, and the manager was not there. The manager was not there setting up for the day. No, he did not set up. He did not calibrate the rooms when he was there early. No, he waited until people are there, and he would ask them to set up 30 minutes before people got there sometimes. And then he would blame us. He'd be like, whoa, these rooms should be done 10 minutes. 10 minutes for each room, regardless of technical difficulties. If that is not stupid to you, I do not know what to say. Because just saying, giving that flat, and you have the balls to come in after your... I should not be there at all before the manager is able to be there. And what I'm saying is, like, look, the manager should always be the leading example of quality and a leading role model to his employees. He should not be the second one there to work. He should be the first one to work. He should be there well before the store opens so that the store is able to progress easily and not add stress to the opening staff. Because guess what? We had a lot of times, and to my knowledge still, this guy does not show up well before the time that the store opens to do it himself. No, if you mess up during the opening shift, he will blame it on you. He will go in there and he will quiz you. Doesn't matter, especially if you're part-time, you're not there all that often. No, he expects you to know every single little piece. And guess what? You are getting paid. You are getting paid 1450 1450 USD dollars to do IT level work, to deal with high stress situations, to deal with a lot of technology for troubleshooting, game testing. No, you are expected to do that for 1450. And like I said on my Instagram, Sunglasses Hat is right next door. And guess what? You get paid 25 cents less to do 99% less work than this job. And this job calls itself, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, this company thinks that they are all that, but they treat their employees like absolute dog poop. And they treat their customers well. There has to be an equal measure, equal opportunity for both to be treated well. In fact, it shouldn't even be a question of, hey, am I gonna be paying my customer, like, if I am I gonna be giving my customers a great experience, or should I also give that to my employees? No. Benefits, by the way, in terms of base benefits, kind of suck. You get 3 a year. A year. I mean, I guess they were like, well, you guys test the game, so you guys technically get experience, right? I mean, I don't even know. I don't know what to say about this company, guys. Like corporate. The thing I'll end on, because it is getting really long. The thing I'll end on here, guys, is this Chinese company, if they do not get their act together, more and more people leave. And you guys can check this out as well. This company has a worldwide, for people all over the world. Their rating is at a staggering 3.3, and it is actually dropping very soon to a 3.1 based on the recent reviews on where is it? I'm sorry, guys. I am just so mad today. It is on Glassdoor. That's where it's on Glassdoor. You can go ahead and look on Glassdoor, and in general. Which, by the way, weirdly enough, on Indeed, they don't even have a rating on Indeed. Like, they don't even have any information to give them a rating. Like, if you work there. Thankfully, Indeed itself actually had to come out and do that service itself. But with that said, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to the cold hard straight facts of dealing with a Chinese company. But all I can say is, like, if you work in there, try to find another job that is at least a little bit better. Because this job is absolutely bonkers in, professional malpractice with treatment of its staff and just laziness. Because, like, look, they brought in Chinese cameras and they're wondering why there's so many issues with tracking, with flow, with how many issues, how many times you have to recalibrate during the day. Because you actually have to recalibrate during the day. That's how bad the cameras are. I mean, their audio system in which you can communicate to each other inside of the game is in a command prompt still. God help us. God, so help us, God. These people, like, okay, they're Pavlov, I believe it is. There's like a CS:GO game in VR that doesn't have doesn't have a command prompt audio system. Who uses a command prompt audio system? Like they should have incorporated that into the actual software of the game, so that it wouldn't interfere. It wouldn't interfere with the experience, because you can actually see the commands coming out. It's sad, guys. It's sad. For how much money they've gotten, this company could have done so much more to improve their base experience. But no, they are focused on creating more experiences instead of fixing the issues that they've had long-standing for months and even years. No, they care more about short-term profit and turning sales and getting people in than actually fixing the issues that they already have that are standing there, that's been there for issues that people have been complaining about. And when people complain too much about the issues that are there, that they are like, well, we're working on it. No proof of work of them working on it. No, no. They're like, oh well, no, we got to get rid of these people, which was what happened to me and the manager, assistant manager. But all I can say, guys, look, be careful. If you guys like see this company, I definitely would not recommend. I'll give them like 0.2 out of 10 just because you get to work with new tech, which to be honest is not really new. Because check it out, Oculus actually came out with a VR one that actually has hand tracking built in, which this one has, but it's bad. It's bad. It's still technically quote unquote in beta. Okay, like they can't like they should slow down creating new games and get on the smaller stuff. Like, let's fix the hand trackers. Let's update that. Let's make sure we get that out of beta. It's been like 2 years. Let's go ahead and fix the audio. Let's not have it in a command prompt where when you're spamming the key command for shooting, it doesn't interfere with it. Maybe we should fix our audio system. I don't know. There's so many things that I'll probably remember to get back into to make. Yeah, I don't even know. Like I should just make more videos of this because there's so much stuff that is wrong and just so off about the company. Like, look, I do a lot of gaming, and don't get me wrong, it's all right. Like the experience in it is all right. But there's just so many, like all the custom software. Sometimes like half of it doesn't work. Like we got these like theater style monitors on the side, and all they do is show like your booking. You know what they could do with that? I don't know. Like actually, one of the customers actually asked me, "Hey, yeah, you guys could, instead of it just being like this, you guys can actually have it so that it shows like a slideshow of instructions on how to put the gear on, so that we can do it while we're waiting." And we brought it up to corporate, and they're like, "Well, maybe we could get that to work." It's a PowerPoint. You could literally make an auto play, on a cycle, like PowerPoint presentation. Make it look really cool. You guys got the money. You guys literally got the money to work on this. But you know what they choose to do? No, I wouldn't know any better. They want to make more experiences, but they don't want to fix the old problems in their older experiences and in their tech in the first place. So this is SpartBoi guys here. Truth Talks with SpartBoi logging off here. This video should be up soon. Next video, I probably am either going to record right after this. I might take a break, and then we'll jump right into it. But anyways, guys, you guys have a great day. Remember, guys, Chinese companies, you got to be really careful for, because if they bring in Chinese culture, China work culture like here, where they expect you to work for really cheap, and they don't pay you what they should be paying you compared to other tech companies, guys got to look out for that, all right? I learned the hard way. Don't be drawn in by the initial tech, burst. Look for the truth in it, all right? But with that said, guys, SpartBoi here, Matthew logging off here. Guys, stay safe and have a good day.